Hey guys, it's Late Boy Scout. I'm recording you right now with my, what is this, XP70 by Fujifilm, and the battery is virtually dead right now. It's going to die any second now, as a matter of fact. And when it does die, I've got to have a way to recharge it. Out here in the desert, you know, I actually have a way to recharge things in my car where I can plug it in and plug it into the USB. If I didn't have something like that with me, or if I were hiking and I definitely didn't have any access to a power source in my car or some real electrical source, I would need to, oh yeah, it just went black. And if I were up in the mountains and didn't have a way to recharge this, I would be screwed, you know? I wouldn't be able to get any more footage of my trip, and I would really be disappointed in that. So here's a solution that I'm going to show you now that I'm going to put to the test today. And I don't know exactly how this test is going to turn out. That's why I'm filming it, so we can all find out together. So the XP70, as I said before, does recharge by USB. That's the HDMI output, and this is the USB input, also the battery charging port. So what I'm going to do right now is plug this in to this right here. We've got a little solar recharging cell. This is actually the NOCO XGrid XGS9. But this will charge at about 5 volts. That's what it's putting out right now, and you can see the status indicator right here is green, which means that while it's out here in the hot sun, the bright sun with a virtually cloudless day, it's getting lots of good juice right now and sending that through the USB cable. Now, one thing I can do with this, there's a couple different things that come with this system. One right here is this battery pack. Now this battery pack is also a flashlight. So if I charge it up and I decide I need a flashlight more than I need to charge up my device, I've got a nice bright flashlight that I can use for emergencies. Also, the power right here, you just switch that on, press it until you have a green light, flip that up, and then you can plug in your power right here. You've got the 5 volt in and the 5 volt out. So the way that would work is you would plug, basically you would plug this thing right here through this and plug it into the battery right here. And then that would juice up and charge up this battery, and then you would charge your devices from the battery. That's one way to do it. But what we're going to try today is something that I don't know if it's going to work or not, but we're going to try charging up this camera directly from the panel. Now that little bit of footage you saw from this camera earlier, that's from the little bit of juice I got from this over about 5 minutes, because this camera was completely dead last night. So we're going to attempt to get a little more juice into this and hopefully do some recording with it today. I can see right now, if you zoom in here or come in really close, right on this indicator right here, and that means that it is getting some power. So is it getting the right amount of power? Is it getting power fast enough? We'll find out. I'm going to plug this thing in, leave it out here in the sun, probably put the camera underneath the panel so it doesn't melt. Let that thing soak up some sun and just kind of see how the NOCO XGrid XGS9 does today. This should be a fun little test. We'll get back to you in a little bit and let you know how it did. Doing a lot of shooting today, haven't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
What we shot today? We shot some ARs, shot some AKs. It's all sitting over here and put away mostly because we shot our magazines dry. But in the course of all that, we spent how many hours? A couple hours? At least a couple hours.
About 3.
Yeah, 2 or 3 hours. And the NOCO XGrid right here, the XGS9, as we discussed before, is still charging away at this Fujifilm XP70. But let's see how far along it is. Yeah, So you still see that there's an amber light there saying that it's getting energy. But let's see how much. So it was drained down to 0 by the time when we started this a couple hours ago. So let's see how much juice is in it right now. So we got to close this. Switch it on. It's showing 3 bars right now. Oh my gosh. Just a second ago it was actually 2 bars. So that's kind of shocking. I'm actually genuinely surprised. Oh, there it is. See, 2 bars. So I think it had just pushed it over the 2 bar limit to 3 bars. So we're going to let this go another hour, maybe a little more, maybe another hour. We're not going to be out here a whole lot longer. We're going to let this go a little bit longer, see if we can get that thing fully charged. But that is awesome. Can you believe that? That one solar panel is charging this up over a couple of hours. Now, obviously, if you had that plugged into your wall at home, it would probably go a lot faster. But that's because you have direct current coming straight into your home, right? This is from a solar panel. I mean, if you get anything anywhere near this from a solar panel, I'm thrilled. All right, I had to get out of the wind there real quick, guys. Anyway, so the NOCO XGrid XGS9 is doing an awesome job charging up this little camera. I wanted to show you guys something else, though. This is another XGrid by NOCO, the XGS4. This one's smaller, pumps out a little less juice, or at least not as fast, but it's far more compact. Look at that. I would love this for a backpacking scenario. Imagine clipping that onto your backpack, hanging it on there and just juicing up your, I don't know, your iPhone, your camera, whatever it is that you might have that charges by way of USB. Plug it into this and let it charge during the day as you're hiking along the trail. Then when you get to your location, you've got enough juice in your battery to do whatever it is you need to do. Now, this is not limited to just cameras. Maybe, there's probably some radios you can charge up in this way, some GPS units you can charge up in this way, definitely your cell phone. So having something like this in the backcountry or out in the desert or, just for emergencies, I think is a really, really cool thing. Again, there's the XGS4 by NOCO. That one, again, is far more compact. And this one comes with, you got your cable for charging. You've got what is a battery that it can actually charge to. So it will charge straight from the panel into the battery, and then the battery will charge up, and then you would turn that on. It's red right now because it doesn't have very much juice. But then if it were green, then it would send that, or once it gets green, then you could plug your device into that and it would charge from the battery. But you can also, if you wanted to, plug it straight into the panel and get some juice from that. So that's the way the XGS4 works, and it has the same kind of connections. And I love this little pouch that's built into the back of it. That's so convenient because it's all in one thing. You don't have to get yourself a pouch to put all this into. It's all in a pouch in one nice little system. And then the XGS9, again, wraps up in a very similar way. You would wrap that up, the Velcro comes over here and closes over that. And I talked about before how you can daisy chain a bunch of these together. You've also got those pouches on the back to store your gear. You could even store some cameras or some other things in there if you wanted to. But all your little bits and pieces that make up the system would go down in there for storage. And this also comes with a battery, but in the case of the XGS9, the battery is also a flashlight. I think I mentioned that before, but you can charge the battery and have that ready to go for recharging your devices, or you can just have this ready to go as a flashlight and use this in case of emergency. NOCO contacted me and asked me if I was interested in doing some solar panel reviews. Now, I'd never looked at solar panels before or even considered them, but when I saw how simple and cool these were, I had to show them to you. If you're looking for something that you can take into the backcountry, take into the desert, have for emergencies, and be able to get a little extra juice in your devices, I think this is an excellent way to go. So check out the NOCO XGrid XGS9 and XGS4 on Amazon.com. The prices are actually really good on these devices, guys, and I highly recommend them. Thanks very much for watching. That's been my review. I'm LA Boy Scout. We'll see ya.
Buy my Velcro-backed patches using the links below, and go to Blade HQ for the exclusive Knife Love t-shirt.
I'll talk about some of those briefly, and then as I discuss all the different features of the bag, I'll try to get into how it works for all those in more detail. One of the first roles I see this fitting into is that of a day pack. Something kind of small that you would bring limited gear in for whether it be a short hike or a long hike, as long as you don't expect to spend the night somewhere.